Entrepreneurs do not fail. Entrepreneurs quit. And they quit not because they're not talented enough, they're not determined, they do not work hard, they don't have high IQ. None of that. They end up quitting because they forgot to train the most important skill there is for business success. Welcome back. Hello everyone, Leon Castillo here, founder of Selfmastered, Peak Performance Academy for founders. We help you master your mental game, triple your productivity and skill without distractions, overwhelm, and burnout. So this video is on the most fundamental skill there is for business success and truly life. And this is not something that gets discussed. Schools don't teach it, and most people end up learning how to do this after years or decades of going through hard times. And that skill is nothing else than mental mastery. Mental mastery is your ability to see your thoughts and your emotions as something separate from yourself. You are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, and then make the most effective choice. In other words, it is the ability to feel terrible but still do the thing you know you need to do. It is the ability to not get overjoyed when things are going super well for you, so you don't make unnecessary reckless mistakes, but also don't believe all the catastrophic mental chatter that you may have when things are not going the way they should. In essence, it is the ability to find presence and equanimity in the moment so that you can effectively deploy your best behavior. That is the core skill of mental mastery. And that is one of the biggest differences between average and elite performers, because average performers, those that have never trained their mind to perform, they are at the mercy of circumstance. If things go well, they feel well, they perform well, they're on top of the world. But things come crashing down, they are in a bad physiological or psychological state, then they start making the wrong choices and feeling absolutely terrible about it. So in essence, they believe they have a pre-built way of being, which is reactive to what is happening to them. They have a very limited comfort zone, and whatever exceeds that comfort zone triggers them. And that is no way to live, but also that is no way to build your business. Elite performers, on the other side, have an infinite comfort zone. They are happy with whatever life brings because they will be able to remain in control of their mental state, irrespectively of what happens outside. That is the core definition of an elite performer, is knowing when to shut the mind and just perform. If you get good at this, then every single day is going to be peak performing for you because you will know how to drive that behavior. If you see value in this video, please click on the link below so you never miss out on any other video that's coming your way. So how do elite performers train their mind to be fully detached from those thoughts and their emotions in order to make effective choices? Well, it all starts with self-awareness, which is the core foundational skill. Once you learn how to see yourself as separate from thoughts and your emotions, everything falls down naturally, because you can then have a saying in which thoughts and your emotions you decide to pay attention to. If you're feeling absolutely terrible for no reason, then you don't pay attention to that feeling and you keep working, you keep doing what needs to be done. It also helps you identify disempowering beliefs. You see what are you believing that is just not true and that is curtailing your best behavior. And then you can replace that with more empowering beliefs. Working at the level of the mind to discriminate between useful and unuseful thoughts is supremely important for elite performance. Because any elite performer, it doesn't matter where you look in the arts, you look in business, you look in sports, Michael Jordan, Elon Musk, doesn't matter. They all have got good at the core skills that stem from having mental mastery, like resilience, like discipline, like focus. All of that hinges on your ability to train the mind to stay in the present moment and not fall for thoughts and emotions that just do not pertain to you. And the best way to train it, once you have that self-awareness, then you basically do three things. The first thing is to remove yourself any negative input into your consciousness. Anything that triggers you, anything that evokes strong thoughts and emotions that you still have no control over. The things that cause you pain, the things that cause you envy, the stuff that just triggers you. Remove as many of them as you can. Because if you're constantly being triggered, you are unable to find that ability to control your thoughts. Second thing is to actually train the mind through meditation. Meditation is the conscious act of returning to attention to a specific point. It can be a breath, can be a mantra, it doesn't matter. Meditation, it is the core skill for mental training because it gives you the ability to see yourself from an external perspective and make the necessary changes in order to drive your behavior. And finally, once you get triggered, once your mind starts racing, once the monkey mind just starts playing around when you are suddenly triggered by something, what you gotta do is that you gotta let it go. And the best way to let that go is through the body, not the mind. So what you do is a very strong inhale and an even longer exhale in order to regulate your nervous system. So do that enough times and you will calm the mind by activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So in essence, what we just covered is the skill of mental mastery. Mental mastery is the ability to discern between thoughts and emotions and only pay attention to those that are useful to you at that moment. In order to become good at that, you gotta train your self-awareness. And self-awareness is trained by inquiring into who you are, why you do what you do, and what thoughts and what emotions are more predominant. Then you eliminate all the inputs that are aligned with the things you don't want in your life, start meditating to train that mind, to build up that muscle, and finally, whenever you get triggered, because you will, you accept that and you let it go. You accept it and you let it go. And in order to break the cycle of overthinking and over emotions, you just take a deep breath and you let it go. I hope this was useful. If you want full protocols on how to train your mind and how to truly scale without overwhelm, burnout, and distractions, all the nasty things, we can train you to be consistent, effective, and disciplined in business. Book a call with us below. Happy to chat. Cheers.